Okay, let's talk about business brokers. I want to share a real life story with you. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a video call with a business broker and also with a potential seller of the business. It was a very nice conversation, etc., etc. The business wasn't very big. It was a small business, around 150 EBITDA. Usually too small, but from the numbers he presented, it was a very well-run business. He presented everything as if the EBITDA was adjusted, so the numbers he presented me, I could rely on. So we already had the conversation, it was going well. I said to him, okay, now send me a few more docs and I can start working on an offer for you. It took him 1.5 weeks or something to gather all the data, all the documents. It was not that much to gather, but that's business. It turns out that the numbers he had adjusted were only adjusted in the favor of the seller and the broker, obviously. Okay, this is what you have to expect. So what they left out from the adjustments were the most important things. First of all, the business was the owners themselves, they owned the building, the real estate where the business is operating in. So they didn't adjust the rent payment, which will have to be paid in the future, which will be, I think it was not too big, let's say a building of 1,700 to 3.5. I'm not sure about the region, I haven't looked it up. Let's say it will be another 30,000-40,000 euros of costs per year. They didn't adjust this at all. It was not adjusted. I had to look it up and I had to really dig into the numbers to see, okay, all of this is not really adjusted at all. Then it turns out, because it was not a company, it was, so to say, sole proprietorship, is self-employment. And they haven't even adjusted for the owner's salary, so the management salary. They didn't even adjust the management salary for basically 2 people, because there were 2 owners. And if you just add this all up, you will end up with 0 EBITDA. It's really bad. To make the long story short, this broker he was not working on a commission basis, and I think this is a problem. This is the problem. He was paid 15k in advance in last year, and probably he's going to get paid this year again 15k. 15k. For what? For trying to sell the business. Either this broker is stupid, because it's a business you cannot sell if you adjust it. It's an EBITDA of 0, and if the owners go out, you have to. It makes no sense for anyone except they have children who take over the business. Then maybe, but maybe for employees who are right now working in it and say, okay, I want to take the risk and I want to take over the business. Maybe for them, but for nobody else, from no outside investor, this makes any sense at all. But what I want to say is either this broker is stupid or it's just unethical. He took basically a client, which, if he is not stupid, which he knew was a business that cannot be sold on the market because it's just 0 profit. You cannot finance it. It makes no sense for investors. If he's not stupid, he knows it exactly, but he's still getting the 15k from the seller, which is unethical in my opinion. Unethical at least. And on the other side, if he is stupid, then this explains a lot, but it's just, from what I want to say is, I think, and I talked to dozens or hundreds of founders over the last 3 years, and there are different deal categories, and I'm especially looking at the category which is just slightly too small for private equity, so we don't have the competition from the private equity companies. And on the other side, it's too big for single employees. It's too risky for them because they don't want to take the risk to have a loan of 1.5 million, 2 million for a purchase price. So it's too small for private equity, too big for employees. And exactly in this niche, and obviously when you go lower, it's even a bigger problem, but especially in this niche, it's EBIT of 150K to 800K, something around this. There's a big problem. The owners they turn, I don't know, let's say 65, and they want to retire. They think it's a simple process. You just call a broker, or you just put it online for sale, and in 3 months someone's going to come and buy your business. They don't optimize for it. They are still in the management. They don't have a second management layer. The business is not working without them. Often they provide a lot of they bring a lot of revenue into the company themselves. This is a big problem. They make the company look less profitable because they want to avoid taxes, which is also unethical, but I understand it. They also, nothing's optimized. Not the brand, not the marketing, not the sales, not the finances. They don't have an expose really, except when they hire a broker, which then charges 15K for it. Fine, if it's if he does the job, then it's worth 15K, really. But when they do it like this, I'm really disappointed. So, long story short, I think there is a niche, there's a chance, and I'm really considering going into exactly this niche and chance, because I just talked to dozens and hundreds of owners who are going to retire or want to retire right now, but they cannot sell their business because they just have a business which is unsellable. You cannot sell it because it's just, as I said, nothing's optimized. You're still in management. It highly depends on you. It's just, there are so many businesses who are attractive but unsellable, and this is because they don't optimize beforehand, before they sell. So what I'm looking forward to is to create a consultancy which will just take the owners at the hand. We will go hand by hand through a 3 or 5 year process with consulting services, and we will optimize everything so that people can sell their business after 3 or 5 years. We will optimize everything. We will also act as a broker later on, or we will buy the business ourselves. But we will just 3, 4, 5 years, we will just optimize everything as a consultant, going into it, replacing the owner, you're recruiting a management, optimizing the finances, getting rid of all of this illegal and unethical tax avoidance, building brand marketing, having a great upside, grow over 3, 4, 5 years, showing growth. This is very valuable. And I think this is something that someone has to do it, because there are just so many owners who are desperate to sell their business, but they can't because it's unsellable right now. So I think there's a big market for this, and I'm looking forward to really solve this. Maybe I'm not 100% sure about this, but this was just the tip of the iceberg. This broker was really the tip of the iceberg. So until then, I wish you all the best. Think about the business broker next time, and if you are a business broker, please, why are you doing this? So